Okay, we are on LiL Sandy again. This time I am about 2 miles south from my normal spot, or southwest, however you want to call it. Used to be train tracks that ran up here, and there was a train bridge. They took it out with all the old big sandstone stuff. Is in the creek. Some big chunks here. It's real shallow here. Not very deep at all. Some nice big rocks underneath. Today I'm going to play with the hibanker. I haven't quite decided yet if I want to play here in the center of the creek and dig around these big boulders and see what lies. This is a good spot. It's kind of right in the center. Can't tell, but all the way down there, there's a bend that bends off to the right. So really, the short line wouldn't be in the center. It would be more along this large gravel edge right here. I did do a test pan a couple days ago. Just brought my pan and a little shovel out, and I had dug this rock right here. 2 scoops from a little garden trowel shovel. That little spot right there yielded 2 specks. So I didn't bother doing the math on that, but instead of getting a whole lot of nothing, I'll just get a little bit of something. This creek runs here. When I first started panning, I've tested in there earlier this year up that creek. A lot of like iron and stuff in the bankage where it washed out, but honestly didn't find a single speck up that at all. So just kind of poking around here, looking. Now at the beginning of the year, right after the winter, all of this was underwater. The water was almost up to the base of that tree up there. So you gotta figure this big boulder right here was a good 4 foot underwater earlier this year. And you get to see all the gravel and stuff pouring out of it. And then there's this large chunk here, which is almost completely buried. So I'm thinking I'm gonna dig down in here on the first round. It's hard telling how big this rock is. It could be a pretty good size. There might be some good heavies on the back side of it. But this is one of the ideal places where, you know, you want to pack out whatever you pack in. It's a equestrian trail. People bring their horses down here, ride 4-wheelers across the creek. So I'm going to be really careful as not to make a huge mess or a big pile of rocks or a hole that a horse could fall into. Don't want to abuse my rights. Well, I got some of the stuff down. I got to get the hibanker set up and start running. Catch you guys in a bit. Well, set up and running. Dug out behind that, about 3 foot down, filled it back in. Scratched behind that big one, but not really seeing anything I like. Then come over here to the edge, now I'm kind of plucking around, digging around in there, and I was like, what is that whiteness in my hibanker? So I pulled it out, flipped it over. It's a little turtle. Small little guy. So, I'll take him down here. There's the more I'm working. glad I didn't hurt him. My first turtle I came across in these waters. Well, I've only been out for about an hour and a half. Should be running out of gas here in a minute. I'd get closer, that thing's throwing water everywhere. But need to get the dredge riffles out of there. I mean, they work, but the amount of water that's going through there. And of course, it's a borrowed machine, so I've been doing a lot of research on dredging as far as making a nozzle or doing a jet flare. Since mostly everything I do is shallow water, I think I'm going to go with the nozzle. I'm going to build it out of PVC. Started at the hardware store a couple times, just kind of piecing pieces together and checking stuff out. And then I'm going to use my team, that's not mine there, but my A52 box. And probably just going to get a road cone for a jet flare. I heard they're pretty stout. And see what happens. I might have to get a set of dredge riffles for my dredge. But it'll be a 2.5, but it won't be pulling up 2.5 material, probably 2-inch material. I'll reduce the nozzle or whatever I got to do to keep from getting clogs. Well, I had to show you guys my find. It wasn't a big nugget, but it was a turtle. I'll get back to it and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Well, not as good as I hoped. That's for sure. You can see like 2 on camera, and then 2 you can almost see. It's all 4 in there. Not the best. Come across, I'm not sure if it's pieces of mercury, pieces of lead. There's a lot of stuff in the bottom. I'm gonna have to do some brainstorming there and try to figure out what happened. I definitely wasn't on it. A lot of black sand, but no goodies. I mean, a lot of black sand. So I'm going to save this and run it through. So I just painted it out kind of quick, like I screened it all down with the screen that came with my kit. And I had it all in that little bowl, and I was just kind of painting off, so it's possible some of that small stuff got through, though I doubt it. So I'll have to whip out and try my mini sluice. And then here's all the stuff that I screened out, which I haven't panned out, but I haven't seen any nuggets in there. Nice piece of lead there. So, now that I got this video made, I am going to head to the hardware store and start playing around with the idea of suction nozzle. I'm going to try PVC, and maybe going to look at some electrical conduit. Check that stuff out. Alright guys, catch you on the flip.